Hello again, folks. Thank you for joining me for day 2. This is the first time, I believe, that I've ever streamed 2 days in a row. So, yay, I made it. It's really hot in my house. Currently, it's 81 degrees Fahrenheit, but it's going to be like, a shorter stream, so I figure, it's okay. I can make it work. So, we're going to do this. Today, I'm going to use the prompt smoke for my drawing. I'm still thinking about all the protests that have been going on, and one of the things that is sort of a common thing in these conflicts, at least between protesters and police, is all of the smoke from either the grenades or not grenades, but that's a little bit extreme. Um, Tear gas, um, quote unquote tear gas, because they don't want to call it tear gas, and or from fires that are either started from people protesting or from the explosions of the tear gas. Anyway, so um, that's what I'm going to be drawing a little bit about. I hope that you're having a good end of your week. There is a lot going on, a little overwhelming. Sometimes it's like, given recent news, it's like, what can you believe? It's a little hard. But anyway, thank you for joining me, and let's get started with drawing. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and let me first fix my pen here. Okay. All right. We're going to switch to our pencil. I think that's my normal pencil. Yes, it is. Okay. So we're going to go with something that's pretty simple. I'm not going to go with like a whole large scale kind of situation because that was a little bit hard to like get finished in a reasonable period of time. So we're going to go with something just a little bit smaller. So something that really I'm thinking about right now is like, just like doing like a boot and like some shoes and maybe some shields and of course lots of the smoky thing happening. I'm gonna start over here. I'm gonna go with the shoe. This is gonna be like a sort of chunky shoe, so make sure we get that right. Chunky sole. Okay. To add some eyelets for laces. And have some wrinkles in it because it's kind of how this works out, right? Oh. Let's see, legs, knees probably start about here. Okay. You know, it would be good to know which shoe or which foot that is. I can make sure that I'm drawing that properly, but I'm not too worried about it. All right, and add in a shield here. Let's see, how is this shield? The shield is going to be facing this way. I want to make sure that video is updating properly. Yes, it is. Okay. It seems to have gotten a little bit stuck from my preview. Okay, we've got this over here. We're going to add another shoe over here. This is making me think about like the history of protests, and oftentimes it's younger people because young people have their ideals and their dreams. They haven't been crushed into submission yet. So we're gonna do some Chuck Taylors here. I know I can do these properly. And that is just way too small. I'm still in the pencil stage, so I'm going to be okay with doing some erasing here. Heck. Okay. When do you add color? I would normally add color. I mean, for my drawings, if I'm doing like an outline, I'd add color afterwards. I haven't added any colors yet for any of my drawings for my Inky October series, but perhaps in the future I'll go back and do some coloring. Right now I'm primarily focusing on trying to get the basic shapes, outlines, and some shading. But if you've seen some of my previous drawings, I've done some color. And those I would do the outline, and then I'd come back and this is just not doing what I want it to be doing. I think I've forgotten how to draw Chuck Taylors. Colors are the thing that make the world better. I do appreciate some colors in my world. You know what? Okay, I see what the problem is. The problem is that I'm making this toe patch too big. It's basically just at the end of the shoe. There we go. That's better. Okay, so we got the rubber thing happening. Got a little lacy thing going on at the top. This kind of comes down a lot further. I have a little patch on the side. Little eyelets. I haven't actually really kept track of how many eyelets there are in these, but Okay. I'm gonna come and draw like another little shield. This one's gonna be a little bit more um, improvised. A little trash can. Right, and then we need to have some smoke riding through here. But you know, that's our theme. It's smoke. Mm. Oh yeah, yeah. Got a lot of space here that I'm not using. You know, I probably should have looked up how these things work. These little tear gas canister. Yeah, they're very round. I did a bad job with this here. Okay. Not the most realistic, but all right. So we got some basics. We got some shapes in there. I'm gonna have like someone's arm holding this. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I should figure out a plane to put these people on because they are kind of like all over the place. But that's okay. Yeah, we're just doing a thing. All right, we're gonna switch over to my pen now. And now let's do some, you know, and I might not do outline. I might just try to actually just do some shading so we can see if we can avoid some outlines and see if that actually makes sense. But first of all, let me figure out where the light's coming from. Um, you know what? If I have the light coming from, I kind of like coming from like two directions actually. That would be the thing. Okay. So we're gonna have lights coming off back here, and we're gonna have some lights coming off from like back over here. So let's see if we can make this happen. Okay, so first of all, we're gonna like shading around this little thing. I'm shading on this arm here. Try not to look too much like a web. And I think we're gonna do like some shadowing here. So let's go ahead and add some of that shadow right here. That shadow's gonna end there. And then we're gonna do some more shadow here. It can be like a basic level of shadow. Okay. Definitely do some more shadow down here because that's kind of like a shady spot. We do some like just some light lines here. just because I have like a little bit of color going on there. Okay. It's gonna be like pretty light. I'm not expecting too much. Okay. Maybe these lines are probably like a little bit coarse for what I'm doing, so I probably could have done some lighter or some thinner lines. I'm gonna just lower the size of my lines just a tad. And come back in here and do some more lines. I'll just pretend like there's some stripes in these jeans, and that's why they have like little extra lines in there. Okay. Definitely like add some darkness up in here because this is where those parts of the shoes come together and you can't quite see what's going on in there. But we should also have laces. I did not plan for laces, so we're just gonna like kind of like pretend that we planned for them. Although we did not. You know, there's a dark little stripe that runs along shoe at some point. Have something here, some squiggles. A little shadow here around the grommets. A little shadow here. So these shoes actually have interesting texture on the front, so I'm going to replicate that a little bit. That lasts for like a little while. And then there's like a darker line that runs right around through this whole part. Oh, like a little shadow part here. All right, so we definitely have shadows underneath the shoes. I'm thinking these shoes are kind of like a little bit off the ground, so I'm going to like continue the shadow a little bit out like this. Gonna break it up a little bit. All right, let's come in and do some light or some shading on this boot. I know it's gonna like eventually come into contact with some bright light and kind of like add some lightness in there. Definitely got some deep shadows in here. Definite shadows on the ground. Shadows up in here. And again, we have laces, so let's see about like trying to add some laces in here. Shadow under here, under these pants. Then we're gonna add like some lightness there, and then we're gonna come in with some darker stuff here. Let my lines catch up. Do some lighter lines, and then more shadow here, and then definitely gonna have like a much shadier area up in here. These are some dark pants. Lots of shade here. A little bit less shade front side, but we're gonna again some more, and then let's continue on the back. A little bit less here. Let's see if we can blend it in some. Yeah, that's a little bit blended. And let's try doing some little cross hatching in here too, just to see how that looks. Oh yeah, this looks more like fabric. Do like a little bit of light stuff here, not as often. Okay. And this shield is going to be just a little bit tricky. Okay. It's going to be a little lighter there. Okay, all right. Now let's do this canister. This canister is going to be very much of a round shape. I want to make sure that we're giving it the shape that it needs with our lines here. Down some so we're not rushing too much. Okay, cool. Show there. Okay, all right. So we did that. Let's add some more shading in here, and this is going to be a little bit more intense because it's kind of a going to be a little bit like kind of like blocking some of the light because of the way it's kind of folds over a little bit. So we're gonna try to be a little bit more dense here with our shading. It's kind of now a little bit more, a little bit lighter. It's a dark, it's a dark, it's a dark object. Let's try to keep our lines relatively close together, but also we want to like try to make that shape happen, and also try to blend in. It's not just making very obvious edges like I'm doing here. Hello, Dana. Thanks for joining. these eyelets from here so that we can continue to see them. Okay, all right, so we have that. Now let's see what we can do with this heel. It's kind of a chunky heel. Might try to do some cross hatching. Especially the parts that are getting a little bit more light. All right, and so then we got this top area, and this top area, I don't expect this top area is getting that much light, so we're gonna go ahead and a little bit heavier on the shading. Also help differentiate it from the rest of the heel. Some shading up in here. Okay, and these Chuck Taylors, what color are they? They are not going to be, they're not white. They're going to be, they could be kind of lighter color. Let's see, let's do some, just do some simple lines here. We're shading along sides where it's not getting as much light. Preserve some of that shape. Okay. Let's just go ahead and do this. Let's just see how this looks. We can experiment. I think that helps some. All right, so then we get to the ground, and the ground is pretty much gonna be very dark. See if we can do some. Can we get away with hatching? I don't know if we can get away with this. Might be too big. Might be too big of an area. Might want to have slightly bigger pen nib. Okay, can make this work. There's not that much to do here. We can use our whole arm here, so we're not just using the hand since it's a very wide area. Try to look for like the shortest distance to run a hatch. It makes it a little bit easier when you're not having to draw like a forever long line. and this can's gonna have some shadowing on it. Totally forgot about that. Okay. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. Mm-hmm. 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 Right. Let us crossing hatches because we can cross the hatches. Well, hatch, hatch, hatch. And great big batch, batch, batch. Till our hand gets tired. This isn't looking too bad. And if I had if I were spending a little bit more time making this happen, I think we have a pretty decent result. What do y'all think? Does it look like a picture? I mean, hatching's going all different directions. That's just great. We could do all kinds of different hatching, but let me get to this trash can. This trash can lid needs some work. It hasn't gotten any love. Any love at all. It needs some love. Okay, gonna give it a little bit more darkness in here. Maybe a little less here. But in here, let's do some cross hatching just so we can establish that it's a different surface from the edges. Okay. In here, add some more darkness just so that we can see that it's got some form. And some more shading down here. Okay. And then back here it's just pretty much dark, so let's just do some little scribbly back here because this is a lot. This is a lot to fill in. I am thankful that I am not using up lots of ink to do this. I always feel bad when I use lots of ink because then I have to you have to think about replacing it. You have to think about the manufacturing that went into it. That's just me. Okay. Here, get some more. One next to the shield. It's a little faster. Going around this smoky cloud here. such a soft little brushing worry sound. My plastic nib on this screen. Nope, I'm at the top. Good. All right, that's my quickie little drawing here. Do like a little something in here to indicate that it's like not just like one monolithic little thing. Let's give it some, give it a little bit of color up in here, a little bit of shading. All right, and there we go. And that is my little drawing a color river. Thank you for tuning in for my quick little, sorry, did I say river? I meant smoke. This is smoke, definitely smoke. All right, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.